It was only last month that I finally finished Stanley Kubrick's filmography, and while I loved Eyes Wide Shut, I couldn't help but feel melancholic about it. This man, who was so meticulous to the point of changing his films after their release, was taken from us before he could even see his last film premiere. Reading about him, it made me even sadder, the fact that he couldn't enjoy his own films and how much he beat himself up about making them. After rewatching Paths of Glory with a renewed sense of appreciation, I started writing this. His 1956 effort is in the same vein of his much less revered film, released the year prior, Killer's Kiss. Not nearly the flashiest of his work, but I'd like to pinpoint two scenes in particular. As the sharpshooter, Nicky Arcane, gets into position at the parking lot, the attendant comes up to him and makes conversation. The two had already previously talked to each other, Nicky having bribed him to park there. The attendant has brought him a programme of the races, and Nicky is cordial. As the 7th race is beginning, Nicky gets ready to shoot the horse he has been told to when the attendant comes up again. Throughout all the scenes with Nicky previously, he seems like a respectful man simply doing a job. Kubrick wants to get one thing across as quickly as possible. He wants you to hate him. How does he do this?
Oh, now look, keep your junk and leave me alone, will you? Something wrong? You're wrong, nigga.
This easily turns what could have been one of the few sympathetic characters in the film around, using only 3 words. The other scene which highlights Kubrick's prowess is the ending. So many people have died for this money, and Johnny is so close to getting away with it, when... Set aside the beautiful imagery of the money literally flying away from him, I'd like to focus on why this happens. In a brilliant use of Chekhov's gun, you actually see the lady and her dog multiple times a few minutes prior to this scene. Even though all except one of Kubrick's films would be considered serious, quite a few of them end with comedic tones. A criminal mastermind's plan being foiled by a poodle, a battalion of soldiers singing the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse song, and the simple solution to man's problems.
Fuck.
I would show the ending of A Clockwork Orange too, but I don't see anyone talking about this. How can you not acknowledge the comedic genius that this man has? Detailed instructions for a space toilet, bare fellatio, and even Elon Musk. I see a lot of discussion about Kubrick's cuts, and while I do agree that he is a master of those, I think what he does even better is letting shots linger, allowing the viewer time to think about what's happening. Barry Lyndon, Full Metal Jacket in 2001 are the best examples of this, in my opinion. The way I talk about Kubrick makes it sound like he's perfect. Far from it. But to find flaws in his films is, almost always, nitpicking. Why didn't the spaceship line up with the bone? Where the hell was Crazy Elves magazine gone? And what's going on with that carpet? Ultimately, do these things affect my enjoyment of the films? No. Other than that bone. I hate that bone. Most of the other critiques of his filmography after Killer's Kiss boils down to this is boring. A Clockwork Orange is a fresh set of critiques, however, ranging from I don't like violence to I don't like rape. So, here's a good piece of advice for those people. I've had multiple messages from people yelling at me saying that Kubrick abused Shelley Duvall. I tell them the same thing every time. The fact that she came out in multiple interviews and said that he was a nice man and that she enjoyed the experience. That Scatman Crothers was put through infinitely worse conditions on the set. And the very idea that the only way a woman could give a performance on that level is if she wasn't really acting is sexist. I love Stanley Kubrick. I even defend Fear and Desire and Killer's Kiss as films that would be regarded as the majority of other directors' best. He was a flawed man, just like everyone else. I would rather appreciate what he gave us instead of focusing on his pitfalls. Except for that damn bone. It would have taken like 5 minutes.